There are other ways. If you're interested in making money in Elite Dangerous, exploration is not the way to do it, because
Oh yeah.
there are other ways for sure that are much more efficient. But let's see, the Distant Worlds thing was a 16-week long expedition without the benefit for most of the journey of stations or carriers. And so the people that went that whole way out and back, I agree, it is absolutely fun. I love it. Okay, Captain Oracle has decided to direct us towards the bottom of the command deck. So hold on, let me move the mouse right. Hey, buddy. So we're at terrible risk of losing everything that they had worked towards. And it's one thing to lose a ship in combat, where your station is right over there, you pay the rebuy cost, and you get right back at it. Whereas if you were an explorer back in the day, if you've lost 16 weeks worth of work, you're in tears.
Oh yeah.
So that was the risk, and I don't think the reward was commensurate with it at the time. But now there are carriers scattered throughout the galaxy. Effectively, you're always within 10,000 light years, max, of somebody you can dock with and repair and maybe turn in data. So it's a lot better now than it used to be. In most areas of the galaxy, it's even denser. I looked at a map of carriers before we went on the trip, and the closest carrier to us is about 2,000 light years away. So, big risk, big reward, great feeling. Absolutely. I can't tell you, when I got back from Distant Worlds 2 and finally docked, and I was shaking, on that docking, on the approach to the station. Okay, don't screw this up. Don't screw this up. Gently set it down. Okay, we're here. Pay, get paid for everything, and it was like pages and pages and pages and pages of turn-ins. So yeah, that's right. It was quite a moment. But nowadays, I'm not that stressed about it. It's going out there for fun, and just finding what we can find. Yeah, exactly. Um, and then there was a time before docking computers too, right? So uh, a lot of exploration I did at that time was in smaller ships, so you could find a platform, and I find those easier to dock on. One of the smaller stations is only smaller medium pads. But yeah, you're trying to fit through the slot when you haven't been through one in like 8 months. Yeah, yeah, that was stressful. Now we have docking computer this and docking computer that. And yeah, it's kind of fun to listen to the Blue Danube all day, but it's not like it was. Although some of our commanders on this trip insist on docking manually. Either they've decided that they wanted that extra, couple of tons to increase the jump range, or they just like scratching the paint on the carrier. In fact, one of them brags about it. So, yeah. Oh, here we go. Next jump. Oh, the lights dim. Always a good sign, or bad sign. A sign, anyway.
You don't need an alert sound. They're
See what we have here. want to see what's ahead of us. Hey, we actually have a star. Okay. Captain Oracle decided to move the mouse so we could not have to see the star appear. We're not headed straight for that star. Oh, thank you. I've really enjoyed working with SRVs on planet surfaces. Now, there's a lot of controversy about Odyssey and walking around, in valid controversy as well. But I've even found some of the planetary exploration Odyssey based, where you're landing on planets with thin atmospheres that are just gorgeous. It's like I was showing earlier, a blue sky on one of these moons. It's like that was impressive. But most of them are paper thin atmospheres. The ones that you get that are like noble gases look gorgeous. You have this kaleidoscope effect, from horizon to sky, depending on the color of the star and how close you are to it, and it's just visually fantastic. And the SRV itself, I've gotten in a lot of trouble with. I've had several adventures on planets where I'm driving around just seeing the sights, and I get caught in a place that I can't recall the ship, because if you get far enough away from the ship, it takes off and leaves you behind, and then you have to recall it to have it land nearby you in order to get back aboard. But if you get in the rough terrain, there's no place for it to land, so you have to work your way out of the rough terrain. And I ended up in a mountain range and got caught in gullies and valleys, and drove off cliffs. It was, that was quite an adventure in and of itself. So that's kind of the way Elite is with exploration. You make your own adventure as you ply along and do your thing. Not scripted. There's no particular quest giver. There's no guy with a question mark or exclamation mark over his head. Instead, it's just it's you motivating yourself to go out there and see what there is to see. Cool.